Good morning and welcome to our 9th Violet Flame Festival. Once again, it is lovely to be here and be blessed with the opportunity to share some of my personal and experiential moments with you all. Seeing that we have become acquainted with some of our listeners, I would like to introduce myself to our newest followers. I'm Kathy Cook, and I have been translating certain books and texts written by Mrs. Maria Petrizzi, which I have gone into detail in our previous Violet Flame Festivals. Today, however, I am going to focus specifically on the translating of the meditations themselves and how I came to define and explain what meditation has done for me and to me. So, to begin with, I guess we should try to answer the most important question, which is, what is meditation? There are infinite rational interpretations and explanations of what meditating is. In the English dictionary, you may come across it as ruminating, engaging in contemplation, pondering, or in general, reflecting upon something, planning or projecting in the mind. Whereas in the Sanskrit, Tibetan, Chinese, and Japanese languages, it means to make the mind free of disturbing thoughts. A method that makes one aware of reality, an inward journey from the dense to the subtle, to the most subtle aspects of one's being, invocating the higher energies and creating a channel of contact between soul and spirit, a contact that brings about alignment and helps eliminate personality distortion and assists one to become aware of ever more expanding truths. So, when Kathy initially entered the world of meditation, I came to realize how extremely difficult it was to free my mind of disturbing thoughts, and oh my, plentiful and diverse disturbing thoughts there were. And also that to tread the path of translating the meditations, I would have to learn to quieten the mind so that this soul of mine could finally be heard and be healed, and all the while not forgetting that you cannot travel on the path until you become the path itself, as the Buddha himself had so perfectly stated. Having been brought up and educated entirely based on the Western system, I found myself stumbling in the dark at first, fundamentally in the greatest need to recognize the soul and the faculty of the intuition, which in turn leads to illumination. Only in that instant of total surrender, of ridding myself of all self, of all distractions, distinctions, and falsehoods, could I reach a higher state of consciousness so that I could work, and work I did, as there was work and there is work to be done, individually and collectively. For one to be able to comprehend this intricate work, one must be able to uncover their personal path, where one unveils and discovers themselves, finds their channel and their source, and deals only with the meditations and translations. And only then, if their source identifies with the specific line, which is the energy or the vibration itself of the meditation, may they continue. Otherwise, another shall have to take over. It is work which is both elaborate and extremely wondrous. Having worked on these meditations, I found myself time and time again being shaped, reshaped, formed and transformed, exactly like the words that I happened to be searching for at times, helplessly, especially when I insisted on working via the mental or the noetic or the astral or the kama-manasic, refusing to open up to the intuition and my higher self. Language has accumulated a considerable linguistic inheritance, just as we humans have accumulated infinite experiences on all levels, whether they be emotional, physical, psychological, spiritual, educational, social. The list is endless, hindering at times our intuition and inner wisdom, and compromising our translations by shifts of meaning time and time again, only to realize even further, dear Kathy, that you must surrender, liberate, annihilate, assimilate, detach, negate, elevate, pacify, discern, conduct, detach, apply, penetrate, permeate, cleanse, purify, detach, galvanize, animate, bless, thank, honor, detach, and love unconditionally, individually, and collectively for the words to come. Because, as we all know, prayer is when you talk to God, and meditation is when God talks to you. Now, for you to be able to see and identify with the beauty of this work I would like to read the merging of 3 different extracts from various meditations. So, let's get a little comfortable. Okay. You may sit cross-legged on the floor, or your sofa, or on a chair, with your legs touching the floor. It is entirely up to you. Close your eyes gently and just breathe. Try to focus on the vibrations of the words without getting too caught up with the literal meaning of the words for now, especially if you are new to our channel. Just let go and enjoy. Monday, 30th of November, 2020. Solar meditation of Sagittarius in the full moon. Sagittarius is the sign with which we recognize the direction and the purpose. We focus on the center of our hearts, between the shoulder blades. Our vehicle's concentric spheres. We visualize our individual channel. Gold receiver, gold axis, gold roots. Our receiver anchored in the sacred north, in the sacred cosmic triangle of Sirius, Pleiades, Minor and Major Ursa. Our roots anchored in the sacred triangle. Very deep in the sacred south of the sacred cosmic triangle, which is there via reflection from the north. In the center of our heart, inside our spiritual spark, the resurrected Christ standeth. Resurrected, air essenced his energy, radiates inside our vehicles. We inspect our heart. All that is personal, we place inside the triple violet. The violet of Saint Germain, the violet of the resurrected Christ, and the air essenced violet of the air essenced hierarchy. The triple violet flows through the heart of the sun. There up high into all our energy centers, which are based at our receiver, our axis, and our roots. From the gold of our soul, the triple violet flows to wherever there is need within us. Wherever there is a need in our entire individual channel, including the walls also of our individual channel and the surrounding space. The flow of the triple violet happens through established insertion mechanisms of the violet distribution, the contact with the problematic energy, and the expulsion of the problematic energy simultaneously. With the outflow of the violet through the exit conduits which exist at each vehicle, far away into the cleansing reservoirs and cleansing seas outside the planet, as the divine law stipulates. All that is individual, all that is personal, all that touches us creating a burden, we let it disband and be expelled. Wanting to become detached means to de-identify from ourselves. What shall we identify with then? With the resurrected Christ in our hearts. We shall identify with His presence. We shall accept consciously inside us, and we shall become His resurrected energies. The resurrected Christ encloses the all, the resurrected all. Identifying with Him and with His energies, we become part of His resurrected all. Initially, this manifests in our vehicles, which fill with pure white air essence resurrected light. The sparks of the resurrected Christ from His pass through also into our vehicles. Since our individual channels are functional parts of His, our vehicles become part of His vehicles. Thursday, 17th of December, 2020. Planetary Service Meditation. When we understand the mechanism and ask from the depths of our hearts the assistance of the resurrected Christ and the sacred forces, asking them to hold our outlook and our thought, magnetized inside their sacred area, then no one, no force can sovereignize on our outlook and thought. This is the act which the human is obliged to make. The choice of the forces with which the human is drawn to align with. The entire planet Earth is separated into sacred and into unholy. The gap increasingly shall grow. Where are we at? There, where we are magnetized, where we look at, is where we let go. Usually the human is divided. Inside of him, a section of him wants progress and resurrection. The other section wants habits. This can no longer function on a permanent basis. The human takes with him both sections, and this places him on the sacred earth or on the unholy. The force of the sacred forces is great. The spiritual laws are specific. We must think through these. Our solar plexus and our abdomen, our arms and our legs, our everything to have chosen the resurrection. Not the resurrection as self-seeking, selfishness. The resurrection as life. The self-seeking, selfishness of the resurrection conducts in guidance to the non-sacred planet. The life of the resurrection conducts in guidance to the sacred planet. Let us become masters of our outlook. Let us become masters of our thoughts. We visualize the cleansing violet sources at the heart of the sun. They are up high, and we evoke their sacred energies inside us, in the structures of our individual channel, inside the axes and the junctions of the networks which penetrate our individual channel. Thursday, 5th of November 2020. Planetary Service Meditation. We look at our heels. We focus our attention there, at our roots, under the heels, at the flames which ascend through the roots, at the flames which pass through the heels to the entire region of the ankles. At the region of the calves and shins. Our focus is always on the flames which penetrate these regions. The flames do not penetrate our entire channel. The flames penetrate specific regions. These regions prepare a universal dissemination of the cosmic violet flame when the time is deemed sound. Until then, the changes shall be great. We render our external and internal ears to the violet cosmic flames. The work shall continue individually. It shall continue inside the channel of humanity. It shall continue inside the entire planetary channel. We concentrate on our heels. We breathe deeply through our nose upwards. We receive the energy through our receiver. We attempt to send our inhale through our entire axis, even until our heels from our nose. Inhale through the receiver, channeling through the axis even until the heels. We bring to our consciousness the concentric spheres of our vehicles around the center of the heart, between the shoulder blades. Always the presence of the resurrected Christ, ever bright, pure white, resurrected. It radiates through all our vehicles. Slow, steady breath, rhythmical. All the inner work we experienced during the meditation continues on the deep levels. We focus our consciousness on our physical body, on the movement of our breath, and we join our palms to feel our body. We always give ourselves time to adjust the processes of grounding. We want all our bodies to be well, present, to balance, to redefine, to be functional, to connect very well with our physical body. When we are ready, we rub our thighs with our palms. We rub our waist. We stretch our spinal cord. We stretch the neck, the head sitting correctly, the chin parallel to the ground. Our receiver stretched vertically. We are always anchored high in the heart of the sun. And deep in the spiritual roots network of the planet. With consciousness for the continuous works and the presence of the sacred entities. which work for the cosmic presence here. We ground ourselves fully. When we are ready, we shall open our eyes on exhaling. In silence we remain. Om. I do hope that these meditations, which we practice in the most beautiful and ever powerful Greek language, are rendered into English so they may reach a broader audience. Thank you for your precious time. Always here, always yours, KC.